I say I am.
Hello all. A lot of people were probably wondering what that weird redstone thing was in some of my other videos, and today I will show you what that is. I still have the inventory from last episode, so I'll just go into game mode 1 and clear that out, and I'm going to get a music disc. So you're probably already thinking, oh, that's what it is. Yes it is. Let's get a couple different ones. Okay, now if I put this music disc in, you'll see if I search for music disc, it is 13, right? So I just place number 13, or the title is 13 rather, place it in here, it'll start playing, and you'll see command box is now playing 13. Now, how did it know? Well, a lot of you may know that, yes, if you put a comparator next to a jukebox and you put a disc in it, it will output a signal from 1 to 12 depending on which disc is in it. And since there are 12 discs, that works out perfectly. It's less than 15, so they don't have to extend the signal length or whatever. So yeah, there's nothing that you can do that makes it 13, 14, or 15, and that's okay because you don't need it to. Now, how does it work, you ask? Well, pretty simple. There's probably you might be thinking, oh, well, why don't you just have like a line of 12 redstone with the repeater on each one leading to a command box that says now playing whatever. Well, the others of you will be realizing, oh, wait, well, if one of them is triggered, then all the other ones before it are triggered. So if I put in 13, that's fine, but what if I put in word? Then that means that, where is word? That means that all the rest, Strad, Style, Mellow High, Mall, Far, Chirp, Blocks, Cat, and 13, will also be triggered because those are all the ones that are before it on the redstone line. And that is a problem. So, I invented this. Now first I'll show you the original version I made. And this is a crap ton of comparators. I made this before they changed the pulse length of the comparator, so they changed it from being 1 tick in real game to being 1 tick in redstone, which, so it's the same as the shortest tick on a repeater. So I didn't need all those comparators, so if you're building this in survival, save yourself a torch and a quartz and just make a repeater. But don't make this version either, because this, as you can see, it's a huge array. I did not need to make this many. I don't know why I did. Probably just because I wasn't really thinking, and I wasn't as good with redstone at the time. Now this one doesn't actually work because it doesn't have the command box at the end, so it won't tell you which it is, but I can still put it in and show you what happens. You'll see they'll all trigger, but only that third one at the end will light up, and that's because that's the one that this is. This is the third disc. If I go into music disc, this is 1, 2, 3, that's blocks, and this is, that's word, never mind, sorry. See 12, 11, 10, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It goes from right to left, apparently. Derp, sorry about that. But yeah, that's the 10th one. That's the 10th one. I'm pointing at the screen. That's not working. That's the 10th one. That's the 11th one. That's the 12th one. Over there is the first one. So, oops. But yeah, I just have this little thing with a comparator that says, oh, this one is on, so I should turn all these off, and it works. Or I should turn this one off, which then turns that one off, etc. Well, it's more complicated than that. It's actually simpler, but whatever. Anyway, it's different. I said it wrong. But yeah, it's pretty simple. But it is super expensive with all this, and I don't want it to be super expensive. Super expensive is not fun. It's too much getting all the materials. So, instead, I shrank it a bit to this. Obviously it's thicker, but it's narrower, and it uses it uses repeaters instead of comparators for the most part. There still are comparators that are necessary along here and over there and here and stuff. But that's not the point. The point is, well, that's not the point. The point is it uses a lot fewer repeaters slash comparators. I'm not sure exactly how many fewer, and also it's faster. It is faster, because with that it would have to travel all the way down to get to 1. With this one it only has to travel maybe half as far. I'm not sure exactly, but you see I split it in 2, so that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on this side, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are on that side. It just makes it simpler that way. And then, you know, it makes it easier to build. Then the lines don't have to be so long, they can be the same length. And I've also taken out all the unnecessary ones, so I've just sort of staggered them so that no 2 redstone lines will connect. That's why I actually had to use repeaters instead of comparators, because the redstone lines would just hook onto the comparator. That wouldn't work. So I had to use these repeaters, just alternating different lines. There are more than I would have wanted, but it works. And another thing is that you could use less, but it wouldn't work. Or you could use fewer, I suppose, but it wouldn't work because of the way the timings work, and that's a big part of it. Because if this one is if this one is shorter than this one, it'll reach here before it reaches here, and it won't have time to turn that off, and so it won't work. But yeah, that's that. So if I give this a shot, you'll see now playing far, now playing far. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Now you're wondering, okay, now what does it look like? So I'll just break this block here, take it out, and all the redstone will go away. Put it in again, jump up. Now you'll see, you might see, I don't know, it's clear over here. You'll see that it pulses each one as it turns off. Pulse, 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 pulse. You'll see the little pulses going down each line. And you also notice this little doohickey at the end of each one. Now what that does is it prevents those pulses from triggering the command blocks using a technique I like to call proprietary. So if you see here, I have this same device with a lamp at the end, and I just do this with this torch. Will light up the lamp. Goes through, lamp lights up. Take it off, lamp turns off. However, if we have this rapid fire pulsar, you'll see that the rapid fire will not trigger it. So one tick pulses will not trigger it. And that's what happens down the line, is that each one of those is a 1 tick pulse going down the line, and so it won't trigger it. It'll get caught by this little doohickey, and the command block will never get triggered. And so I have them over here, as you can see, and some of them are flipped to make it smaller. And so yeah, that is that. I did I admit I moved some stuff around in MC Edit, just because I had built it, and I built it in the wrong place and I needed it to be in a different place. But saying that, it is 100% survivable if you don't use command blocks. If you use something else, like maybe far opens the gate to the nether portal, or cat, I don't know, kills your cat, whatever. But each music disc can be assigned a certain function, which at the end of this thing you can just have a redstone apparatus or line or whatever going to a redstone apparatus that will do that function. And that is it. If you have any questions, if you want to know how to build it, I'll probably be, yes, I will put an MC Edit schematic in the description, so feel free to download that. I'll put one for this. I won't put one for that. If you really want to use that, maybe you have a really long space but not a really short space, I mean a really wide space. Actually, I'm not going to show you that at all. Instead, you'll just want to flip this around and put it over here and just keep doing the comparator redstone, extend it down. And remember, you have to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before it gets to that. So that is then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Otherwise it won't work. And that is it. So yeah, redstone is really way too complicated for simple things. Schematic in the description. Give a like if you liked. Give a comment if you have a question. Subscribe if you really love my voice or something. I don't know. Good night.
I am who I say I am.